Hey guys, me Sam Stein, managing editor at the Bulwark, joined by my bestie, JVL. What's up, man? How you doing?
What's up, bro? My best friend, Sam Stein.
JVL, is that you're looking good. You're looking
Thanks,
good.
man. I'm living my best life. I'm living my best life where rest, self-care, and personal hygiene are at the top of the list every day.
We should start a column, a separate Bulwark column, JVL's tips for self-care and hygiene.
Yeah.
Paid subscribers only.
Well, that's the champagne tier.
Okay, yeah, exactly.
Tier, not just Bulwark Plus members, but up at the champagne level tier, that's where you get all that stuff.
Seriously. Okay, we'll put that in the works. Today we're going to talk about something that just came out about an hour ago. So basically, we've been told for months, if not years, that anyone who is still talking about January 6th is hopelessly stuck in the past, obsessed with relitigating old issues and wounds. Yeah, suffering from Trump derangement syndrome. And then today, two things happened in succession. The first, we're going to go chronologically.
Okay.
Because Speaker Mike Johnson was asked about the pardons that Trump issued for everyone. Well, he did issue some clemency, but whatever. Pardoning for everyone involved in January 6th. Here is what Mike Johnson had to say when he was asked if he agreed with Trump's decision. I want you to focus. Look, I want you to watch the whole video, but I want you to specifically focus at the very, very end in the words he deliberately chooses at the end. Let's go.
Republicans have long said you guys back the blue. How do you justifiably say that when Trump just pardoned a bunch of violent January 6th rioters who attacked Capitol Police? And if those rioters come to the Capitol, will you welcome them back here?
So look, everybody can describe this however they want. The president has the pardon and commutation authority. It's his decision, and I think what was made clear all along is that peaceful protests and people who engage in that should never be punished. There was a weaponization of the Justice Department. There was a weaponization of the events. The following, the prosecutions that happened after January 6th. It was a terrible time and a terrible chapter in America's history. The president's made his decision. I don't second guess those. And yes, it's kind of my ethos, my worldview. We believe in redemption. We believe in second chances. If you would argue that those people didn't pay a heavy penalty, having been incarcerated and all of that's up to you. But the president's made a decision. We move forward. There are better days ahead of us. That's what we're excited about. We're not looking backwards. We're looking forward.
All right. We are not looking backwards. We are not looking backwards. We're looking forwards. Just to be clear, that is their. All right. An hour later, House Republicans announced a new select subcommittee. This is their words: to continue the investigation of the events preceding and following January 6th. Speaker Johnson and the House Republican Conference today announced the intent to establish this new select committee. It will be chaired by Representative Barry Loudermilk of Georgia and exist as a select subcommittee of the House Judiciary Committee chaired by Representative Jim Jordan.
Yes. Yeah. I'm sorry. We have some confusion here, Sam.
Sure.
And maybe this is going to invalidate the entire premise of this little live stream that we're doing. What the speaker meant was that he doesn't look back to January 6th,
right,
2021. He'll look back to 2011. 2021.
There's
that right. This is, he just won't go that extra 4 days. It's like falling out of warranty. Like, I'm sorry, your dishwasher broke 4 weeks after the warranty expired. We're not looking back. Yeah.
Right. No, it's crazy. This has been a bugaboo for them for a while. It's obviously being done to lay the predicate that January 6th itself was either over-exaggerated or, in the more conspiratorial mind, a setup by the deep state to frame Donald Trump and his supporters and then to launch a weaponized, legally weaponized assault on them and put them all in jail. And yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised by this because they've basically said that this is where they're going. They want to turn January 6th into a liability for Democrats. Will it work?
I mean, why wouldn't it? Right?
I knew
this is a country of deeply unserious people.
What are they going to uncover? What are they going to uncover?
This is a country which believes in second chances, so much so that they've decided to give Donald Trump a second chance at being president. A second chance at being president. I mean, at this point, I'm not sure I'd bet against it.
Sure.
Right? I mean, looking at it and... but I don't know, like all of the rules are all the rules are topsy-turvy, right? Because, you can't talk about democracy because democracy isn't a thing that voters care about. You got to talk about concrete issues. And then, like, you talk about concrete issues like, well, I don't know, in Lordstown, they built a new plant that brought 2,200 factory jobs to it. No, well, that doesn't really matter because that's different. Now that it's cultural. And everything is always this sleight of hand game with these guys as to what matters and what doesn't.
Right.
I mean, what this will work, it will work as a means to intimidate people and to intimidate people who might be thinking about doing a Liz Cheney, by which I mean having some testicular fortitude and standing up for right and speaking out. Even if they don't get the people they go after, it does have a chilling effect on like the next level of people down. And they get to operate in these twin modes where there's the stuff they do that's ridiculous for public consumption, like the Gulf of America. And then there's the serious as a heart attack stuff, which is meant like this to very seriously imperil and expose to the full force of government a very small number of people who they find troublesome.
Right. And you can't separate this from Biden out the door, pardons Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger, the staffers who were involved in the January 6th committee preemptively, a very audacious stroke of the pardon power. This is, it was probably in the works well before that, but this is an attempt to basically extract a pound of flesh in a way that they couldn't get it now because of the pardons. There's no doubt that they're going to haul these people up to the Hill to testify. They're going to accuse them of obstructing an actual investigation, deleting evidence, stuff that's been looked into in the past and debunked. They're going to allege that the FBI or the deep state infiltrated the peaceful protest on January 6th and encouraged everyone to storm the Capitol and commit violent acts. Again, this is a long-standing conspiracy theory. The FBI Inspector General looked into this, did not find that to be the case, found out that there were informants in the crowd, which was not surprising, but that's now been turned into, well, the FBI was definitely there. And we will be litigating January 6th for, a while now. I don't particularly think this is a stroke of genius by them. I don't think this is like something that they should be doing. I think it's kind of stupid that they want to bring this all back to the surface. I think Trump will get away with pardoning everyone on January 6th, but I don't think it's a stroke of political genius that he did it. I think the more they talk about this, the less they talk about stuff that they really actually would prefer to talk about. But that might differentiate me and you.
I mean, I'm not going to say it's genius, but
right.
it does reinforce the authoritarian ethos. And the authoritarian ethos is that the guy who jabbed a stun gun into the neck of a cop, and then the Camp Auschwitz guy. Do you remember him? The Camp Auschwitz guy?
Yeah, he wore the Auschwitz on the sweater, right?
Right. The Camp Auschwitz, right. Real
Camp
neo-Nazi. Yeah, again, this is not a like, oh, he was just sending his love out to people. He chose to wear a hoodie that said Camp Auschwitz on it.
That's an active choice. Yeah. That was not sending your heart to someone.
I don't think that this is really like about the Roman Camp Auschwitz that he was talking about that has nothing to do with Nazis. I think he was really about the Nazis. Those people get pardoned, and the people who we are going to haul up and try to make an example of are Adam Kinzinger and Liz Cheney.
Well, I wonder if Democrats will participate in this. If Democrats participate in this, they probably, I think they should, because then you can maybe try to make a spectacle of hauling up Camp Auschwitz guy and the shaman god or whatever the hell fucking name is. Speaking of, you see a little recidivism?
There's some. I mean, we now have 1,600 people out on the streets, and I mean, just going by actuarial tables, some of these people are going to wind up back in trouble with the law. And this is the thing, we saw this with the Comet Pizza guy, the Pizzagate conspiracy guy who was killed in a shootout with police. Yeah. Right. I was just doing deep dives on this morning for my newsletter, and One of the guys who was released, who'd been sentenced to 20 years, I'm sorry, I forget the very fine gentleman's name, but he had been arrested for assault and convicted of assaulting anti-Trump protesters in 2019. Like he'd already, by the time we got to J6, he had already been, arrested and convicted of assault,
Right.
As an act of political violence. This stuff is going to happen again. Now, I don't know how we keep track of that. Like, I don't know who can be on like police blotter duty to find, the name of every.
I'm sure there's going to be someone. I'm sure there's going to be someone, because there were people who, after January 6th, online sleuths who had no relation to law enforcement or any media entity, who made it their obsession to like figure out who was actually at the Capitol that day. I imagine that those people are going to be, keeping tabs on who is a recidivist in this case. Today it was reported that, a guy who got a pardon, a guy named Daniel Ball, arrested on a federal gun charge. That's the first case, I believe, of a rearrest. So, shocking. I have to imagine this is going to be more to come. But, I think Adrian at Huddle Masses put it for immigration, but I think it applies to everything, which is the fear is the point, right? It's about instilling fear. It's about, we've just unleashed these people who tried to disrupt a peaceful transfer of power, who are part of right-wing militias, out into the open. That's the fear. Or we're going to haul Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger back to the Capitol and make their lives miserable. That's the fear.
And you want the militia types to operate under the assumption that if they go over the line, there's a good chance Daddy Trump will protect them. Right. And this is just absolutely true. Over the last 4 years, last 3 years, really, once the police and law enforcement started going after the January 6th people, you saw a lot of that stuff go away. And people just tucked in their hidey holes. There was almost no Trump vigilantism associated with the 2024 campaign. These people were very, very quiet. And it's because the law enforcement stuff works. And the pardoning will work too. The pardoning will work. It will have the intended effects. And he will get his paramilitary force. And these people who, I don't know if anybody remembers what this was like back in the dark days of like 2019, but you would have like open street warfare in Portland between Antifa people and Proud Boys or 3%ers. And it was like gangs in New York. You'd see this video of people showing up in public parks, the two sides with like homemade weapons and homemade shields and stuff. It's like fucking, what was Daniel the Butcher? What was Daniel Day-Lewis's?
Daniel Day-Lewis was character. Bill the Butcher.
Frank the Butcher? Bill the Butcher.
Bill the Butcher.
It's basically Bill the Butcher. And I just, if you go back and read like any European history pre-World War II, this is one of the things that jumps out at you, is there was constant street violence between communists and fascists. And it was all over the continent. And it was happening in a low-grade way. And over time, it became more organized. And I mean, America just thinks like, that can't happen here. But like, it already did. Right. It happened just a couple of years ago. And I mean, good luck to us. I can't believe these people chose to live through this again.
You have a unique way of really bringing it down, honestly.
Sorry.
It's a talent.
Sorry.
It's like an honor.
I like the cooler. Remember Boy Made Macy, the movie, The Cooler, where he like shows up at the craps table where everybody's hot and all of a sudden like,
it just kills the vibe.
Craps out. So sorry.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. Wow. I mean, I was down, but like I'm leaving this really down. Thank you, JVL.
Well, you know what? Let me give you this.
If you make this worse, I'm going to be mad.
Only about 1,300 more days to go.
All right, folks, thank you for tuning into the Bulwark YouTube. As always, do subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends, family, even though it can be distressing. We appreciate your following us, and we'll talk to you soon.